The Nazi regime now controlled the government, the military, the media, and nearly every aspect of German society. But Adolf Hitler's ambitions extended far beyond Germany's borders. He wanted to build a powerful empire, one that would dominate Europe and establish Nazi supremacy. To achieve this, Hitler began openly violating the Treaty of Versailles. Germany rapidly rebuilt its military. Factories produced tanks, artillery, warships, and aircraft at astonishing speed. In 1936, Hitler sent troops into the Rhineland, a region that had been demilitarized after World War I. This was a direct violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Britain and France had the power to stop him. But they did nothing. Still haunted by the horrors of World War I, they feared another catastrophic war. Instead of confrontation, they chose compromise. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria in an event known as the Anschluss. Once again, Europe did not intervene. Soon after, Hitler turned his attention to Czechoslovakia. He demanded the Sudetenland, claiming he wanted to protect ethnic Germans living there. At the Munich conference, Britain and France agreed to hand over the territory in exchange for Hitler's promise that he would make no further demands. That promise was false. Within months, Hitler occupied the rest of Czechoslovakia. In August 1939, Germany and the Soviet Union signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Publicly, it was a non-aggression treaty. Secretly, both powers agreed to divide Poland between them. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. German forces attacked with terrifying speed and coordination. Aircraft bombed strategic targets. Tanks broke through defensive lines. Mechanized infantry advanced rapidly behind them. Poland was overwhelmed. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. As the war expanded, the world split into two major camps. On one side stood the Axis powers. The core members were Germany, Italy, and Japan. Germany sought control of Europe. Italy, under Benito Mussolini, aimed to restore imperial power in the Mediterranean and Africa. Japan sought dominance across East Asia and the Pacific. Together, they formed a powerful military alliance. On the other side stood the Allies. At first, the main Allied powers were Britain, France, and Poland. Later, the Soviet Union and the United States would join them, turning the conflict into a global struggle. World War II soon spread across multiple fronts. The first major front was the Western Front. In 1940, German forces launched rapid attacks across Western Europe. Denmark fell, Norway fell, Belgium fell, the Netherlands fell. Then came France. The French expected another trench war like World War I. Instead, German armored divisions bypassed major defenses and advanced with devastating speed. In just 6 weeks, France collapsed. Paris fell in June 1940. Much of Europe now stood under Nazi control. Only Britain remained defiant. Hitler launched the Battle of Britain. German bombers attacked airfields, factories, and cities. Night after night, bombs rained down on London. Civilians sheltered underground as explosions shook the city. But Britain refused to surrender. The Royal Air Force fought back fiercely. It was Hitler's first major setback. The second major front was North Africa. Here, German and Italian forces fought British and Allied troops across vast deserts. Control of North Africa meant control of key trade routes and access to vital oil supplies. Desert warfare brought extreme heat, sandstorms, and difficult supply conditions. The fighting was intense, but eventually Allied forces gained the upper hand. The most brutal front of the war was the Eastern Front. In June 1941, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. It became the largest military invasion in history. More than 3 million Axis troops advanced eastward. At first, German forces achieved stunning victories. Entire Soviet armies were surrounded. Millions of soldiers were captured. It seemed as if Germany might defeat the Soviet Union quickly. But the Soviet Union did not collapse. Resistance intensified. Then winter arrived. Temperatures plunged far below freezing. Vehicles failed. Weapons jammed. Germany's advance stalled. Then came the Battle of Stalingrad. From 1942 to 1943, one of the bloodiest battles in human history unfolded. Street by street, building by building, the city became a battlefield of ruins. Bombing reduced entire neighborhoods to rubble. Soviet resistance grew stronger. Eventually, German forces were surrounded. Cut off from supplies and trapped in freezing conditions, the German Sixth Army collapsed. In February 1943, they surrendered. Stalingrad shattered the myth of German invincibility. From that point onward, Germany was increasingly on the defensive. Meanwhile, the world witnessed the horrifying reality of Nazi rule. Under Hitler's regime, millions of Jews, along with Roma, disabled people, political prisoners, and others, were systematically persecuted and murdered. This genocide became known as the Holocaust. Concentration camps and extermination camps revealed industrial-scale murder. Around 6 million Jews were killed. The scale of these crimes shocked humanity. The war continued on yet another front, the Pacific. In December 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, a major American naval base in Hawaii. The surprise attack destroyed ships, aircraft, and killed thousands. The United States entered the war. The conflict now became truly global. Japanese forces rapidly captured territory across Asia and the Pacific. They seized the Philippines, Hong Kong, Malaya, Singapore, and large parts of Southeast Asia. The United States and Allied forces fought brutal naval and island battles to push Japan back. Major battles such as Midway, Guadalcanal, and Okinawa became turning points. Japan's expansion slowly began to reverse. Back in Europe, the Allies prepared their decisive counterattack. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, more than 150,000 Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy. It was the largest seaborne invasion in history. Despite heavy casualties, the Allies established a foothold in France and initiated the liberation of Western Europe. Germany was now trapped between two powerful fronts. Soviet forces advanced from the east. American, British, and Allied forces advanced from the west. Berlin became the final battlefield. By April 1945, Soviet troops had surrounded the city. Hitler retreated into his underground bunker. The empire he dreamed of was collapsing. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler took his own life. Days later, Germany surrendered. The war in Europe was over, but World War II had not yet ended. In the Pacific, Japan continued fighting. The United States feared that a direct invasion of Japan would cost millions of lives. Meanwhile, a secret American scientific program called the Manhattan Project had developed a weapon unlike anything in human history: the atomic bomb. On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima. In seconds, the city was devastated. A blinding flash filled the sky. Buildings vanished. Tens of thousands died instantly. Many more died later from burns, radiation, and injuries. 3 days later, a second atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Again, unimaginable destruction followed. Humanity had entered the nuclear age. For the first time, mankind possessed the power to destroy entire cities in moments. Facing total destruction, Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945. World War II was finally over. The cost was unimaginable. More than 70 million people had died. Cities lay in ruins. Entire nations were devastated. The story of World War II remains one of humanity's greatest warnings. Unchecked hatred, economic despair, political extremism, and blind ambition can lead to catastrophic destruction. History does not repeat itself exactly, but it often warns us. The question is whether we choose to listen.